Hi everyone, happy fall. I'm so excited for the season. The cold weather really makes me get in the reading spirit. So I thought today I would do the end of the year book tag, which was created by Ariel Bissett. I listen to her podcast, Books Unbound, and it's one of my favorite podcasts. And her co-host recently did this tag on their episode. So I thought it would be time for me to do it as well. I think it has 7 or 8 questions, just kind of going over what you've read this year and what the plans are for the rest of the year. So I will get started with it. The first question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? And the answer for that is no. I'm usually pretty good. Usually like a couple books a year I'll have lingering on, but I am usually pretty good with either like reading them within a few weeks or a month, or like just being like, I'm not interested in this and not finishing it. I started a book last night. It's called Ghostroots by Pemi, Aguda, and it's a short story collection that kind of mixes some fantasy elements in there, exploring like links to ancestors and things like that. So it's pretty interesting so far, but I just started it last night, so I wouldn't say I have to wrap that up. The sun just came out, which is lovely, but now it's shining on my face, so sorry about these weird shadows. The other book that I finished recently but was lingering on for a bit was The Last Flight of the Scarlet Macaw by Barcott. And that book is about, it's a journalist. Bruce Barcott is the journalist, and he goes to Belize, where this woman owns a zoo, and she's trying to fight against this dam that's going to be erected in a river because it's going to destroy some of the last remaining scarlet macaw habitat in the country. And that book was interesting. It was just a little bit slow because it was a lot of legal battles going on, and I thought it was going to be more about the scarlet macaws than it was. It was more about the dam that was being built. So it was interesting, but that one took me a little while. But long story short, I don't have anything that I've been reading for a really long time right now. So the next question, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? I would say that I feel like I've already transitioned into the autumn reading, but I was reading for a while. I read 3 books in a row that were like kind of spooky, disturbing books, but not like fall vibes. And those are The Compound by Rawle, which is about a reality TV show where it's almost like Love Island, except that they're in this house in the desert. It's like Love Island and Big Brother combined. And this is a novel, by the way, forgot to mention that. And yeah, it's, 10 women, 10 men, and they have to couple up or they will get eliminated from the house. And they can complete these challenges to win prizes. And it starts getting a little bit scary because some people start getting a little bit aggressive in the house. So that was very interesting and had, kind of a frightening element to it. The next one that I read was Bunny by Mona Awad. This is a pretty popular horror novel about this woman who's in a graduate program, and the 4 other women in the program with her are in this clique that she calls the Bunnies. And they are really strange. They all call each other Bunny instead of their real names, and generally have a cultish vibe surrounding them. And she starts getting wrapped up with them and what they're doing. So that turns out to have kind of a twist near the end that I wasn't expecting, and I thought was pretty well done. And so that was kind of a, also a school setting book. So I thought that was a good book for September that I finished recently. And then one that I just finished is Natural Beauty by Ling Huang. That one is about a young woman who starts working at this beauty product company, and things turn out to not be what they seem. This woman, she used to be a really excellent pianist, and then you find out that her parents are sick, and so she's trying to make money so she can support them. So she gets wrapped up in this beauty company that turns out to have some more sinister things going on in it. So that was really great as well. I would say that one might have been my favorite of the three, but yeah, as you can see, they all have kind of a horror, spooky element to them, but they're not like super fall settings. So yeah, those are my 3 books to transition into autumn. The next question is there a new release you're still waiting for? And when I was looking through what I had on my to read shelf on Goodreads, I came across this book that I was like, oh yeah, I am really excited for that. And that is We Survived the Night by Julian Brave Noisecat. And the reason it caught my eye is because the cover has like this cool skull thing on it, but it's not really like, it's not a horror book at all. It just, the cover is kind of spooky looking. But it's about this, or it's a memoir / like narrative nonfiction book about this Native American man, and he's looking into he's kind of unpacking his own family history while also doing a lot of research on different indigenous movements and different events that happen to indigenous communities throughout the United States and maybe also North America in general. And it sounds really interesting combining both like the memoir and the research into indigenous communities as a whole. And also I wanted to read more from indigenous authors this year, so I think that will be great when it comes out. I'm looking forward to it. It has really good reviews for people who have had a chance to read it already, so that's what I'm looking forward to. The next question is, are there 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Or what are the 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? And this question was so easy for me. One of them is We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I read another Shirley Jackson book earlier this year, The Haunting of Hill House, and I really enjoyed it. And I have like 2 weeks left waiting for it from the library. So I think it will come in like right before Halloween. So that will be perfect. I'm really excited to read that. I've heard great things about it. I really enjoyed the show, the TV show on Netflix, and yeah, I really liked her writing, and so I'm excited to read more from her. The next one is Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. I read Kindred by Octavia Butler earlier this year and loved it, so I am just wanting to read more from her. I think I also am almost at the top of the wait list for that from the library, so when that comes in, I will be reading it. And then the last one is Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. And I have had that on hold from the library for like a year. It is super popular, but it's a Christmas, the setting is like Christmas time. And so I want to say I put it on hold like a month before Christmas last year. And then there was like a 20-week wait from the library because like everybody was putting it on hold. And all I really know about it is that it's about a coal miner in like a small Irish town during Christmas time. That's literally all I know, but I know there's a TV show now too. It's very popular, so I'm excited for it, and it's very short, I think. But it became available in like the middle of the summer, and I was like, I have to wait for this, so I put it on hold again. So hopefully I can get it around Christmas time and read it then. Yeah, but I'm really excited for all 3 of those books, so I know that I will get to them before the end of the year. The next question is, what trends have you noticed in your reading this year? And the trend that I would say I've noticed the most is that I've been reading a lot more, well, I don't know if a lot is accurate, but I've been reading more sci-fi and horror novels. I don't know, I haven't been reading a ton of them maybe like a fifth of my reading has been that, but that's a lot more than I normally read from those genres. And it's especially been like recently, as I mentioned, the 3 like kind of horror novels that I read earlier, and those also had some like sci-fi elements as well. So it's not like I'm reading like these hardcore sci-fi books or anything like that for the most part. But I'm leaning more toward novels that have those types of elements in them that either have like a supernatural element or sci-fi elements. And I think, you know, with so many changes in technology happening today, like there's a lot more books being published with those types of themes. And so those are just becoming a lot more prevalent, and I'm reading more of them. So that's been fun to expand my horizons. And then how do I feel about my reading goals? Is there anything I want to change, adjust, or abandon? I think my number reading goal was to read 60 books this year. Let me just check. 50 books, but I read 52 books. So I think I'll read 60 books by the end of the year. So I'm feeling good about that. And then my other goals, I would think I wanted to read 15 books from new countries, and I think I've read 11, I want to say. So I think I can do that, or at least get close, like at least read 2 more this year. So I'm feeling good about that. I think my other goals were reading more Indigenous authors and reading more science and nature writing. Indigenous authors, I think I've only read like 2 or 3, which is not a lot, but it is more than I have read in the past, so I guess that's a win. And hopefully I read more. That's definitely not something that I want to abandon or change, because I always want to diversify my reading and read from different authors, and just expand my horizons. So that's definitely something that I still want to have as a goal. And then reading more science books. I think I still do want to do that, but I think that I'm going to end up doing that a lot more in the winter. I have a lot of like adventure, outdoor books that have to do with like either winter or like cold climates, and so I think I'm gonna want to read those more in the winter. So I maybe won't get to as many this year, but I think if I start next year off strong with those, that would be great. So it's definitely, again, not something I want to abandon, but I also want to just read what I'm in the mood for. So I'm not gonna like force myself to read anything that I don't want to, because I won't finish it if I am not in the mood for it, even if it's a book that I would like. And then the last question is, have you started making plans, reading plans for next year? No. I guess I don't really make too many plans for my reading. I kind of just go on what I'm feeling. I have like certain more loose goals. The only thing I know is I'll definitely try to read more books from different countries, since that's like a long-term goal of mine, to read a book from every country. So I will definitely be doing that. But other than that, more just general things, always trying to, like I said, diversify my reading, and other than that, just reading what I feel like, because that's more fun to do and talk about. So that's it. That's the end of the year book tag. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any books that you want to finish before the end of the year, or if you have any fun autumnal books that you've read recently or are looking forward to reading. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time.